Hello everybody, it's Matt Jacobs again. I apologize for the squeaky seat, but anyways, I'm in the music building. It's perfect for filming in here because one it's quiet, two I don't bother people, and three it's a music building. Um, it's J term, and we're studying literature and arts, and at least I'm studying literature and arts, and there's a lot of things that are being sprung up and a lot of things that are going to make the church very uneasy, and it's things that I believe the church need because we have drawn away from it. But before that, let me explain. I cut my hair. I'm not sure how many people are following me, but if you are, then here we goes. I cut my hair because God was just like, Matt, listen, you're about to graduate, you're a junior, and you need to get serious in life. And I'm not saying that I believe that if you have dreadlocks, piercings, and all that, that you're horrible and that you're lazy and not being serious. I'm saying I did it because I was trying to make myself look fun, adventurous, and bad, and it was me getting out of my shell. And it was a good experience for me because I was learning how to become who I wanted to be and who God wanted me to be. And God was just like, Matt, your faith should be the one that's shining through, not your hair, not your piercings, not all that stuff, so you should start getting more serious in life. And you're gonna be working in a church, and you get more respect out of people when you come in fresh, when you come in looking normal. And this is normal for me. Before it was normal, but I'm not hating on people who have piercings. I loved having piercings. Maybe they'll come back. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, since I cut my hair last, my hairline actually receded. Shows my wisdom. Shows how old I'm getting. Um, and it's just funny that it happened because I was just like, man, I'm kind of annoyed because I have these two spots right here that are kind of going back. But anyways, pretty much I'm just gonna just freestyle this. I was kind of led to just do it, and um, I think it'll flow into what I probably wanted to say. Um, but we've been talking in Lit and Arts about how there was this one author, I forget his name, but he wrote this essay, and it's called An Essay on Man. And he said, people need to just knock it off. People need to start realizing that they're being stupid, like that man is corrupt, man is bad, man is horrible, but we need something greater. And like, but within this corrupt, horrible, bad world that we live in, and all this chaos that's going on, there's still order to it. And it's funny how we as humans are messed up, but we have order to our mess, our order to our chaos. And it's funny because it brings you back to Christ, it brings you back to God to realize, wow, there is still a God, because in the chaos and the calamity, we fall to our knees and we realize, oh my gosh, there was something greater, and I need to worship that. And it's just funny. And then he also hits on just how ill-minded and just narrow-minded people are, and how they don't really look at things, and what I says goes, and everybody else is not smart and I'm smart, and people are just so just closed-minded, and just frustrates me so much that people are just not open to change, not open to new ideas. And I dealt with a person a while back that they were like, whatever I say goes. You have to listen to me. You have to agree to me. And that automatically set me off. That's not the gospel. That's hate. That's cruelty. That's do what I say because I said so. And that's legalism. And Christ isn't that. Christ is a person who's like, listen, I have these great things to say, but do them if you want. But the smart thing to do is to do them. You have a choice. And, like, it really sets me off. It really turns me off that people are like that. And also dealing with another person, like, um, you know, I- yeah, I'm a Christian, and I lied to them, and they're like, "Oh, I can't really forgive you for lying," and I'm like, let God judge me, like, why can't you just let it go and let God judge me, like, why can't you get it through your mind that yeah, I'm a human being, and I sin. Let God deal with me and my sin. I don't feel good that I lied, I'm working on that, but that that person was so stuck in their legalistic ideals that their parents had taught them that mommy and daddy said that lying is the worst of all sins. It says, Paul says, listen, or no, not Paul, Moses was the one that wrote the Ten Commandments, and pretty much straight down, it says, no sin is greater except for blasphemy. God will judge you the same on all those, but the only one that won't let you get to heaven is blasphemy. And this person's like, yeah, sin is sin, but, and that person's like, but the worst result of that lying, the worst sin that has, the sin that has the worst result is lying. And I'm like, no, you don't get it in your mind. Like, adultery is just as bad as lying. Coveting is just as bad as lying. All these sins, all the 9 sins are just as bad as lying. And this person is just, they can't get it through their mind. And I left it at that because I didn't like arguing. Because arguing with a legalistic person is like trying to argue with a brick wall. Either it's not going to say anything back, it's not going to agree with you, or it's going to fall down and kill you. Like, that, it's just not good for you. Like, legalistic people just destroy and eat the inside of you and out, and nobody wants to be around a legalistic person because they're going to be judging you and saying you have to do this because I said so. And Paul, he goes into Galatians, talking, not Galatians, Ephesians. uh, I don't know, I haven't, I'm sorry, it's either Ephesians or Galatians, it's probably Ephesians, but it talks about all this legalism and how it destroys the church, and do this because of that. And we as Christians, we're not saved by the law anymore. We're saved by grace, But first of all, the Jews back then were not saved because of the works of the law. They were saved by the faith in the law. And like, I understand, yeah, if you sinned, you got stoned, but Christ died for those sins now. Christ died for my sins, and so I don't have to be judged by my peers anymore. But we as Christians are the most judgmental, the most, hypocritical, the most, stubborn people that we know. And like, yeah, we're supposed to be above reproach and we're supposed to be different and set apart, but like, we as Christians every day are just like, oh, well, look at what she's wearing in church, and look what he's doing, and look at that person. Hey, did you hear about this? Hey, what about that? And like, we as Christians are supposed to be above reproach and not be doing these things. Paul says we're supposed to be in the world but not of it, and we're falling into these little stinking traps that legalism is doing. And I said this quote one time in my philosophy class, and I still hold to it and believe it, that you try so hard not to be something and you end up being it. And that's what I see in a lot of legalistic people is they're like, no, I'm not like that, but they are. They end up being that legalistic person that judges people, that can't forgive and forget. And legalism is it's so distorted and so messed up, and that's what makes people turn off to Christianity, is because we judge those for doing things that they do themselves, and it's hypocritical, and the world sees us as Christians that, well, they tell us not to do this, but they do it themselves, so why should I be different? And it's just ridiculous. And like, we have to be doing this because I said so. And no, I was saying to my one friend that I pray to God not because I have to, I pray to God because I want to. I read